What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Nissan Armada PRO-4X. Huge thank you to Joseph Rodriquez over at Safford Brown Nissan of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Armada or any Nissan product, then I'll be sure to have Joe's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a cloudy and chilly day outside here today, which makes for pretty decent filming conditions. So just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Nissan Armada PRO-4X, and this particular one's been painted in super black. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2025, Nissan refreshed the Armada inside and out with an updated exterior, a modernized interior, a new twin-turbo V6 power plant, new trim levels like the PRO-4X and the Platinum Reserve, and more interior space. But this particular one being the PRO-4X, as standard, you get LED headlights with automatic high beams as well as LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. Taking a few steps to the left, here's a front-on shot of the newly refreshed Armada. It looks pretty menacing up here at the front end with the PRO-4X. It almost looks like a pre-runner there with the high clearance front bumper, but we'll get into that here in a second, because as standard with this trim, you get the gloss black front grille with the silver accenting there at the top of the grille. When you come down just a little bit, you get the lava red accenting there with your Nissan logo, and integrated into the Nissan logo, you can see you get a front camera, and that is because this thing comes standard with a 360-degree view camera system. They also call that the invisible hood view if you are taking this off-road, that utilizes the front and side cameras to give you a 360-degree shot around the outside of the vehicle that you can move on the infotainment screen, which you can see on screen. Speaking of safety features, you also get 4 forward-facing sensors as standard. And when you come down just a little bit, take a look at that pre-runner look, because you get the satin and gloss black lower valance, which is what this area is down here. You also get the 2 lava red tow hooks. You get underbody skid plates to protect your fuel tank as well as your engine area. And then last but not least, you get 9.6 inches of ground clearance. You can raise and lower this 2 inches above all of the other Armadas. Also, it is an adaptive suspension, a little bit less body roll here for 2025. It does handle rather well, not the best handling vehicle, but anyways, also 33 degrees of approach angle if you are actually going to be taking this thing off-road and wanted to know that. And to summarize the 2025 refresh, I think it looks much more sharp, also much more rugged here with the PRO-4X. I love the way that all Nissan PRO-4Xs look. Very rugged, very aggressive, and they're actually mechanically backed up behind that PRO-4X name, if you get my drift. Anyways, satin black wheel arch moldings. As mentioned, you get the adaptive air ride suspension, and the PRO-4X gets the 20-inch gloss black wheels that are wrapped in 275/60 Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain G015 tires. I'll give you a quick view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. I'll also throw the price of one tire on screen now, and if you don't like the way that the standard wheels look, there are 2 other wheel options. Also found behind all 4 of your wheels and tires, this one's been optioned with the $375 PRO-4X mudguards. You also get a gloss black fender vent there that is functional. You can feel the heat dissipating out of the engine bay, and then also rain sensing wipers are standard. Now coming on down the side, you get the gloss black mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and standard, the side view mirrors are heated, power folding. The driver's side mirror is auto dimming. You also get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of the driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. You also get memory settings, so you get 2 memory seat settings. Not only is it going to memorize the seat, the steering wheel, it also memorizes the side view mirror settings as well. Definitely very nice if you have multiple people daily driving this. Cameras found at the bottom of both of these side view mirrors. Again, those work with the 360 cam, and then you also get a light up top there that will illuminate this area where the driver steps in at night. Here is a side profile shot of this thing. This thing is massive here in person. It is very tall, it is very wide, it is huge. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these in person. I'm 5'9", and you're right at my eye level, and I would say that we are about right here. I mean, this thing is just super, super tall. This one has been optioned with the $560 crossbars. They are gloss black, as is the window trim and the roof rails, though the bottom part of the window trim is kind of like a reflective gray. You get body color door handles with keyless access. Keyless access is found on all 4 of your door handles. You also get that black assist step there in satin black. Again, it accents your arch moldings. Here you have your capless filler behind there, and it does ask for premium. Premium is recommended, not required. Also on your D-pillar, you get the lava red Armada badging. Pretty cool. Around back, body color roof spoiler, integrated third brake light, and you get the magic wiper up there that is hiding. It's kind of antisocial. And then you also get the rear window defroster. You get the LED taillights. They are full length. They expand across the entire tailgate. I love that design. I think that looks really cool. I always mention that. I love a good light bar. And then all of this area, no matter what color you get of the Pro-4X, it is gloss black. You get that same red accenting here for your Nissan logo. Armada badging is also gloss black, as is the Pro-4X badging. Backup camera, and then you do get a power liftgate as standard. However, this particular one's been optioned with the $2,780 premium package, so you get the motion activated power liftgate with height memory. So all you would have to do is basically kick underneath there, and then you can see it's going to close back up. I don't want it to close back up right now, but you get the gist. You just kick underneath there and it will open and or close. I did also want to mention that for 2025, your cargo area room is up 24% as compared to last year's model. And then also this one has been optioned with the $300 bumper protector, which is what this piece is right here. Definitely nice if you have kids. Rather than your kids loading stuff and scratching that paint, it will be scratching this removable piece, so you can always replace this if it starts to look grimy. Also, on the driver's side of the trunk, you get a household power outlet. On the passenger side of the trunk, you have these 2 buttons up top here. That is to raise and or lower your air suspension. So if you have something heavy, you can press that button right there and the air suspension will lower. These buttons in the front will drop your second row seats. They don't raise. And then the buttons in the back will raise and lower the third row seats. Underneath here, you get a little bit of storage space. You have your first aid kit. You have this cargo mat here. All of that stuff comes a part of the package listed on screen. These 2 buttons, you can either lock the vehicle or you can close the lift gate. All we are going to do is close that lift gate. It's going to open up all the way. Now we're going to close that lift gate, and we're going to finish things off here at the rear end. So coming down, you get a mix of satin and gloss black for your rear bumper, similar to what you saw there at the front. You also get 6 parking sensors back here. You get a class 4 trailer hitch located in between those outer valance pieces. You get a max tow capacity of 8,500 pounds. And if you're wondering about lighting options with the trailer hitch, you do get a 7-pin connector. You do not get a 4-pin connector. Underneath that, you do get a spare tire. You also get an electronic locking rear differential with the Pro-4X. You also get a 25.5 degree breakover angle and a 24.5 degree departure angle here with the Pro-4X. So it is rather capable if you are actually going to be taking this thing off-road, though this is very expensive. I don't know if I would be taking it off-road. This is more of a family hauler that looks really cool rather than something that I would actually take off-road. But if you were going to take it off-road, it does again have the mechanical bits to back up the name. It is capable off-road, and it's also just really, really good looking. Nissan definitely did a great job with the design. You can let me know your thoughts on the design in the comments down below. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the new for 2025 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 that produces 425 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in about 6 seconds. And if you are wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 15 miles per gallon in the city, 18 miles per gallon on the highway for 16 miles per gallon combined with 4-wheel drive only. I wanted to mention that this is up 25 horsepower and 103 pound-feet of torque as compared to the outgoing V8. Fuel economy is relatively similar, but definitely much more low-end torque with this thing. Also, it goes from a 7-speed auto now for 2025 to a 9-speed automatic transmission. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those 3 things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. This is my full-time thing. Also, not only do I post car review videos, I also post a couple cool videos of my own personal vehicles, C6006, Cammed Camaro SS, and a 74 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. All of my socials are 703speed if you want to see what it's like to run a small YouTube channel. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, keyless access is standard, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press this button right here, and it will unlock. You can lock it by pressing that very same button again, and it will lock right back up. This is what the key fob looks like. It's satin black with some satin chrome accenting, and going over the functions on it, starting from the top, you have your remote start function, your lock function, your unlock function, your power liftgate function, and your panic function. If you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is lock it first, press this hold button, and she will fire up. Press and hold, I meant. And that is what the twin turbo V6 sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. With the Pro-4X, you can only spec it with the charcoal quilted leather upholstery. Again, you can see you get the lava red accenting. But we're gonna start here on our door panel. And the first thing I wanted to mention is standard. You get a 12 speaker Klipsch audio system. Sounds pretty good. Vinyl wrapping. You get the accent colored stitching, 2 memory seat adjustment settings, your unlock and your lock functions. You get the power side view mirror controls here. That is to power fold in or out your side view mirrors. You get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. That button is going to restrict the passenger window privileges. You get a padded armrest, a little bit of storage space, and another speaker there and there. This particular one's been optioned with the $450 illuminated kick plates. Those are found at all 4 of your door jambs. And then again, here is a look at the front seats. You can see you get the Pro-4X stitched into the headrest. I think that looks pretty sweet. And this one's been optioned with the premium package for $2,780. So you get the 12-way power adjustable front seats with the 4-way power lumbar. Standard, the front seats are heated, but with that package, they are heated and ventilated. And now we are going to step into the interior. And now, I'm gonna close that door. We're going to go throughout the entire interior. So first things first, you can see what is new for 2025. That is kind of the elephant in the room. But up top here, grab handle, you get an HVAC vent. That is for your lane keeping system on or off. And then that is to open and or close the power liftgate. That is for your auto hold function. Basically, you press that, the vehicle is going to hold itself in place by itself with its braking system. Pull on that, you have your electronic parking brake. If you wanted to disengage the electronic parking brake, all you would have to do would be push against that and the parking brake will disengage. And now, take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the Armada. And you also get the power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel with the lava red accent colored stitching. You also get paddle shifters, and like any other vehicle, you have the horn at the center. Take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like here on the Armada. And on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, the Pro-4X, I should say, comes standard with Pro Pilot Assist 1.1, which is a semi-autonomous driving system. Keeps you centered in the lane. It also keeps you at speed. So if the vehicle in front of you slows down, the car will slow down. And if that person speeds up, this will also speed up. So those are those settings there. Then you have your volume controls. Coming over to here, that is to speak to the vehicle. That is for the back button if you are going throughout a menu option here on the screen. Let's say we go into settings, so we just click over to settings. We click on something, then this is your back arrow to bring you back into that other screen. And then obviously this is to navigate. All these buttons are to navigate throughout the digital gauge cluster, but you see these 2 buttons here. This is to control the gauge cluster, but if I click this and it illuminates this side, now I can scroll throughout that side with this scroll knob here, and then that OK button is also to control what I see over there. So let's say I go into the home screen, let's say I go over to that next screen. Now I can control what I see on that screen, on that system over there, and then I can use all these controls to control that side. So you can see now I'm controlling that side. If I click this button right here, now I'm going to control the digital dash. So I think that is a pretty cool system. And then these are to go forwards and or backwards on a track. You have your windshield wiper control stock there. And for 2025, the Pro-4X as standard gets a 14.3-inch digital gauge cluster. You also get a 14.3-inch infotainment system. We'll get into that in a second. This is what the gauge cluster looks like though. So you get your ambient exterior temperature, you get the compass, you get the speedometer, digital speedometer readout, you get the tachometer, transmission status stuff. That is the current drive mode that we are in. Coolant temperature, you have your odometer, then that is the transfer case status stuff. That is the fuel range, fuel gauge, and then you also see the kilometers down there. We'll see where it says auto, that is for your air suspension system. And again, to control that screen, you have these controls here. So if I click down or scroll up, this is gonna put me into my Google Maps screen. If I click over to the right, you can see then you got your, I'm gonna go all the way to the left. So we're gonna start at the home screen. So you can scroll up, then you get the same screen that we were just on with the audio stuff. Click over to the right, you get your manual reset information for the drive trip computer, fuel economy stuff. You get your off-road stuff like pitch and roll, then you got your air suspension status. This is your height control for the air suspension. Clicking over, then you get your tire pressure stuff. You have your auto stop start stuff. Then you have your all-wheel drive torque distribution screen. Get your Google Maps screen. Then you have the Sirius XM stuff, which is also audio stuff. You get your speed limit sign, driver assistance features, and some more driver assistance features. And clicking all the way to the right brings you into your settings screen. You can go into the driver assistance stuff. You can go in between all of these things throughout that screen. But really, other than that, that's kind of about it for the screen. If it was me, I'd probably leave it on this screen or the fuel economy screen. Very easy to use. And then over here, this is to brighten and or dim the gauge cluster. You can see these buttons up top here. Now we can dim the gauge cluster. Now we can brighten the gauge cluster. That is what those two buttons do right up top there. Now coming over to here, I already mentioned this, but this is your 14.3-inch infotainment system with built-in Google Maps and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So you get your home screen here, you get your nav stuff, you have your audio stuff over there, then you have your device stuff. You get your time, you get your settings here. You can go in between connection settings, general settings, all of these different settings. This is your audio button. So it is gonna adjust the brightness of stuff. It's gonna bring you into your balance and your fader. Then you get your hotspot you can turn on or off. You can go in between day and night mode here on the infotainment screen. You can turn the display off by clicking on that button there. Touch anywhere on the screen and it will come back to life. At the bottom of the screen, you can see over here, you click that, that is going to bring you into your heated seat, ventilated seat, and heated steering wheel function. You can also control the temperatures on screen now as well. You get the same thing on the passenger side, obviously minus the heated steering wheel. And then these are all of your different shortcut buttons into your seat stuff, nav stuff, audio, phone, home. This is going to pop up your climate control stuff. This is going to bring you into your secondary menu, kind of like a BMW has a secondary menu. You get your interior light. There are no different color options from what I've come across. You can only adjust the color of the accent light. The dash cam, I believe the dash cam comes a part of the premium package. The dash cam is located up top there. Then you got your Google Assistant. You can say, okay, Google, turn the air conditioning system on.
Sure, turning on the AC.
So that's the kind of stuff that OK Google can do. OK Google, turn the AC off.
Okay, turning off the AC.
And if you didn't want to say what I just said, I'm not going to say it again. You can click that button right there, and that is that same function by just clicking there. And then this is one of your screens. You got your secondary screen here. You can go into the interior light, same kind of screen that I already showed you. And then you got one more screen over here. So you get your Apple CarPlay stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then you can also search an app if you wanted to. So we can go into there, and let's say we wanted to go into like something Google related. You can go in Google, Google Assistant will pop up, and then you can see. Cancel that. And that's kind of about it for what this screen is. It's very basic. You basically get the different menus to choose throughout. It gives you the general idea, then you can go in between each screen. So I can show you the audio screen, I can show you the phone screen, I got the home screen, I already showed you that stuff. So easy to use screen, actually one of the easier to use infotainment screens. Then over here you have your integrated trailer brake controller. You can adjust the gain and stuff like that. Push button, start button, all of this stuff is gloss black. Also, your screens are touch screens, so if you get fingerprints all over your screen, you get fingerprints all over the gloss black stuff. I'm gonna throw this product on screen. It's called ONR. You spray it on a microfiber, you mix it with water actually, then you spray it on a microfiber. And all you gotta do is get one microfiber super wet, have another dry microfiber, you wipe it real quick, you dry it. You do the same thing on here. You can do it on the leather, you can do it on the glass, you can do it on the mirrors, you can even do it on the exterior paint. And it will make everything look brand new again with very minimal effort. If you guys are interested in that, it's on screen now. I highly recommend it. I was a detailer before I started YouTube. And then this is what all of this area looks like. You can pop up your 360-degree view camera system. You can see the invisible view, or excuse me, it's like the invisible hood. So you can go over here and you can see what you see in front of you. You can also see, make sure you don't scuff up your wheels. And then this is the screen that I was showing you. You can navigate throughout and see, hey, I want to see that exact angle of the vehicle. Well, you can do that here on this screen. Then you get your volume control, hazard button, forwards and backwards on a track. You get the physical climate control stuff down here, which I love. Temperature. You also have the physical heated seat and steering wheel functions here. 3 levels of adjustability for the heated and ventilated seats. Again, those come a part of the premium package. And then down here you have 8 different drive modes, so we will go in between those now. You get your normal mode, then you have your eco mode, you have your sport mode, you have your tow mode, you have your rock mode, which pops up the camera up top there. It also is messing with the air suspension. You go over, then you get your sand, you have your mud/rut, you have your snow, and then all the way back is your normal mode, or they call it standard mode. And then in between that, you click that button right there. That is going to turn hill descent control on or off. Over here, one thing that's pretty cool, again, you get your 4-wheel automatic, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. This right here is to lock your rear differential. Again, electronic locking rear diff. Press that there. That is to turn traction control on or off. You get a push button transmission to get you in between your different gears. This, if you press and hold, will turn off the automatic air suspension. I mean, you can see my fingerprints there. Again, if you had that ONR, you just wipe that off, dry it, boom, it looks brand new again. And then that is to turn auto stop start on or off. Wireless charging pad does come standard. I have one of the bigger phones on the market. It's an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it does fit in the wireless charging pad. No problem. It's charging now. 2 cup holders, and if you didn't want to see any of that stuff, you can close that back up, and then it looks like some fancy wood. Here you get 2 USB-C ports, you get the Armada badging, and then opening this up, you just press on that. That will reveal your center console. You get a light down in there that is LED. You also get this divider, and that is it for that. This is what the passenger side looks like. I love the PRO-4X stitched into the headrests. You get a lockable lower glove box with a decent amount of storage space in there. Up top here with the premium package, you get the digital rear view mirror. If you click on this, you can go and bring it down, you can bring it up, you can go left and right, you can adjust the rotation of it like that. You can also dim it, you can switch the language, and then if you just don't want to mess with this digital rearview mirror at all, if you flip that forward, now this is just going to behave like a regular auto dimming rearview mirror would. I personally like the digital rearview mirror. I find that it rids me of my blind spots. This is going to let you know if the passenger airbag is on or off. You get a spot you can set your sunglasses. Both of your lights up top here are LED. This is to adjust, I believe, the brightness of the LED lights. If you click on that, if you click there, yeah, you can brighten it, you can dim it. You've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 different levels of light adjustability there. And then you also get the panoramic roof. This is a look at the pano roof, and that also comes a part of the premium package. You can slide it, you can also tilt it up, I believe, by just pushing on there. Boom, it's tilted. Push forward, it closes back up. And then you also have the shade that comes and closes all of this back up. Interior camera comes a part of the premium package. If I got the premium package, I would put a piece of electrical tape over that because, well, I don't want anybody to see me while I'm driving. I think that's kind of almost an invasion of privacy. Again, just personal preference. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror, a vanity light, and then when the sun is in those awkward positions, you can slide this thing in and out for those scenarios. You get a grab handle here for the driver. However, the passenger gets a grab handle on the roof and on your A-pillar. And really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. I think the seats themselves are very comfortable. They feel plush. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at the premium package. A couple highlighted features. You get the 12-way power adjustable seats, heated and ventilated front seats. You get the heated second row seats, the panoramic roof, and this one thing that's interesting called biometric cooling. Basically has infrared sensors in the roof, and they detect your body temperature and basically adjust the temperature in the interior and the fan speed to make you feel the most comfortable. A couple things standard. You get the adaptive cruise control, you get the heated steering wheel, 360-degree view camera system, the digital rear view mirror, wireless charging pad, etc. Now I'm going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2025 Armada Pro 4X is spec'd is $80,765. Honestly, definitely a lot of money, but recently I've been doing videos with three-row SUVs like the Yukons, like the Escalades, and I'm kind of numb now to the price of vehicles. I've done an Aviator last week, and all of those, Escalades about $125, Yukon was about $103, and the Aviator was like 90 something, so 80 grand. I mean, I know it's a lot of money, but you kind of get a lot for your money nowadays with 80 grand, or you do, whatever you want to say. You get the automatic up and down windows back here. You get the speaker there, storage space. This is what the second row seats look like. You still get the Pro 4X stitched into the seat. Quilted leather, looks great. This is to recline the seat. Stepping up into the second row, you can see you get an HVAC vent, a grab handle, a spot you can set your dry cleaning, an LED light, grab handle, seat back pocket behind both the driver and the passenger seat. This is a tri-zone climate control vehicle, so you have your temperature controls down here. Heated outboard second row seats, 3 levels of adjustability for that. Then you get 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt power outlet. This thing is a center fold down armrest. You get the 2 cup holders there. Knee and leg room wise, 5'9", being adjusted behind myself. I can scoot this in and out by grabbing on this, and then the seat scoots forwards and backwards. I'm gonna find myself a comfortable position. You can see knee and leg room plenty, knee and leg room plenty. This is so I can split the room with the third row passengers. If I didn't want to do that and I scoot that back, plenty of knee and leg room, but I'm gonna split the difference here where I'm still comfortable. And now we're gonna see how much leg room I have in the third row. So if I pull up on this, that's going to give me easy access here into the third row. And you can see I gave myself quite a bit of knee and legroom, so when you split the difference, I still have plenty of that here in the third row. I'll throw how much extra legroom we have on screen right now compared to the 2024 model. Then you have 2 cup holders. You have a USB-C port down in there. Over there, you get the 2 cup holders, a USB-C port, you get some speakers, some grab handles, some lights, HVAC vents, same stuff over here. And really, that's kind of about it, other than these buttons. So if I click on this, I believe I can recline the third row seat, and then I can also move it forward. I can recline it. I think that is pretty awesome. Quite a bit of reclinability here to these seats. So these third row seats are actually pretty comfortable, more room than I was expecting, but really that's about it for what we got going on in the interior. You know, we talked about the exterior, we talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. I mean, you can really feel that low end torque. That was me maybe giving it maybe 15% throttle, and it's just effortless. I mean, you guys got to realize this is a massive SUV, and it looks massive on the exterior. I mean, I did a video with a GMC Yukon. It was a AT4 Ultimate yesterday, and it was the Yukon XL. This feels and looks much bigger on the exterior, and on the interior it almost feels like it is wider than the Yukon. So just something I figured I might throw out, because for the price of this, you're looking at GMC Yukons, maybe an elevation. I don't quite know what the other trim levels are worth or how much they cost, but I do know that the AT4 Ultimate I did a video with was a just under $103,000 MSRP, a ton a ton of money. All these big SUVs are a ton of money nowadays. And I can tell you one thing, you are not lacking in the torque department. I mean, those turbos are just, it almost sounds like a diesel, the way that the turbos spool up, because it's like, guys, you remember, Nissan does make the GTR, so they are capable of building a really, really solid, reliable twin turbo V6 that will take abuse day in and day out. I don't know what the reliability is of this new twin turbo V6 in this yet, but I do know that it sounds pretty sweet when you give it a little bit of gas and you start to hear the turbo spool up. So if this guy would get out of this lane and stop going about 8 miles an hour under the speed limit in the left lane, then I could give it a little bit of gas and try to give you guys a sound of the turbo. But the turbo's right there, and it is ready to spool up. Now take a listen to what this thing sounds like cruising at about 47. I know we're not going super fast, but you know, just at this speed, it sounds like it's pretty well insulated from the outside world. Also, the ride is really good. You can't really feel any bumps. Going over, obviously you're gonna feel bumps, but it absorbs most of the bumps very, very well. Just makes for a very, very comfortable ride. One thing that's also pretty cool is that it does have the air suspension. So you can raise and lower it on demand, and also depending on what drive mode you are in, you can raise and lower it as well. The one thing that I like most about the air suspension is that when you are in the rear, let's say you are a shorter person and you're trying to load objects in and out of the trunk, you can press the button and the air suspension will go into its lowest possible setting, making it easier for you to lift objects, but in particular heavy objects into the trunk. So I think that is a very nice and useful feature. And also, Nissan seemed to have really stepped up their interior game. I mean, I think the interior in this thing looks very, very nice. Yes, a lot of piano black trim here that will get dirty with fingerprints and dust and stuff like that. But again, I have the product called O&R. You mix it with a little bit of water, put it on a microfiber, get one really wet, and wipe down everything here on the interior, whether it be the screen, the glass, the leather, etc. Wipe it with the wet, dry it with the dry, and it's going to look brand new again. Highly recommend that product. Here's the acceleration. Really starts making some good power at about 3,300 RPM. That's where it really, really starts to pull. I'm going to see what I can hear when a turbo starts to spool up. I mean, literally right at 2,100 RPM, you can hear the turbo go. It's not going to pick up on camera, but the turbo sounds really good. I mean, 2,500 RPM, it's just ready to rip. I mean, it really has really, really good low end torque. And that is what you'll find out of the twin turbo V6s like the EcoBoost and now like the Hurricane inline 6 that you get with Mopar products, and then also here with the Armada. They make really, really good low-end torque, and they also make good power up top as well. And that's, you know, why you don't really see that much of a gain in fuel economy, but you see a huge gain when it comes to power when going to these kinds of engines. I mean, just effortless power, really, really effortless power. And that's you know, why the EcoBoost engines outsell the V8, because I mean, there's just so much effortless power that you put your foot in the throttle and it just brings you up to speed like nothing. That's what's so good about these twin turbo V6s, and they can make really reliable twin turbo V6s as seen by the Nissan GTR. I mean, people put 1,000 horsepower through that engine, and it takes it day in and day out, just constant abuse. Obviously, it's going to be much better stock, and you know, I don't think any of you guys are going to be modifying this, but hey, you know, some of you out there might. A lot of people modify the EcoBoost stuff. So just a very, very smooth driving experience. You get a lot for your money. I mean, this thing has all the features that you could want on an SUV, on a vehicle really in general when it comes to like the semi-autonomous driving and stuff like that. just a very comfortable vehicle, tons of room, tons of knee and leg room, both in the second and the third row. I mean, it's just a very comfortable vehicle if you have a family of multiple people. Fuel economy, probably not its strong suit, but when it comes to the power, it's got plenty of it. Now I'm gonna wait for this light to turn green, and I'm gonna do a full throttle acceleration to the left. All right, guys, and time for a nice acceleration. Floored. Really good acceleration, very, very quick. Again, it does not need to be floored in order to get the power. It honestly feels a little bit quicker, you know, more in those lower RPM ranges. Obviously, you know, this is making more torque than it is power, so most of that power that you feel is at the lower RPM range, which is where you're going to be driving this thing anyway every day. You're not going to be flooring it everywhere. So, you know, for day-to-day traffic, highway driving, that low-end torque really just makes this thing effortless to drive, and it's just got that really, really good power. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Also leave a comment. Those three things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. Also, not only do I post review videos, I also post videos of my own personal vehicles, C6006, Cammed Camaro, and I also have a 74 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. So if any of that stuff piques your interest, hit that subscribe button, but also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post more personal and behind-the-scenes stuff on the other two platforms, and one video a week of my own personal vehicles here on YouTube. I call it Modifying Monday. So every Monday I have a video of my own personal vehicles. But again, guys, that is it for today's video. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at 703 Speed. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.